Hey everybody, I'm Carlos Greer, senior reporter for Page 6, and I am here with I'm just going to say it, my favorite Backstreet Boy, Alexander James. Man, how are you doing? Congratulations on everything.
Thank you, man. I'm doing very well. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy
I haven't seen you, so
birthday.
I can say Happy New Year.
Yeah.
And thank you. Yes, 48, still standing.
And looking good, man.
I'm trying. Sobriety helps a lot with all of that.
Listen, I don't think anyone is having a better start to 2026 than you are. Maybe like Tiana Taylor or somebody, but you're definitely having a good start to this year.
It's been pretty miraculous. Finally released my album on my birthday, January 9th, 4 years in the making. I kept promising the fans, it's coming, and then nothing would happen. But I also reiterated to all the fans and to everyone that it's going to be worth the wait, I promise. Right. And the response has been overwhelming. And literally the day that I flew out to New York for the actual launch, that morning before I got on the flight, my publicist sent me a text message saying, "You're nominated for an iHeart Award." And I'm like, what the heck? Like, this is like
crazy, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And at first I didn't read what it was for. Mm-hmm. So I just saw nominated for an iHeart Award, and I'm thinking to myself, my album hasn't even come out yet. Like, what could I be nominated for? I didn't do anything. And then I read it, and it was for building the band. Yeah. So I was like, that's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, right, but it's been great.
Well, the last time I actually interviewed you, I believe we spoke about your EP at the time. It was My Name is Alex, and now My Name is Alexander James is here, and it took 4 years. Why did it take so long to create this album?
I mean, schedule is one thing. Obviously, being on the road with the boys, finishing up the DNA tour in May of 2023. And then I took a little mental health break the summer of 2023. I drove down to Scottsdale, Arizona, and I admitted myself into an intensive outpatient program for love and relationship addiction. My sobriety was on lock, but I wanted to dig a little deeper and find out what was at the root of my addiction. Because the drugs and the drinking, that's all symptomatic to something bigger, generally speaking. And for me, it was low self-esteem, like really bad low self-esteem, never feeling good enough, not knowing how to separate work and personal life. I didn't know how to turn AJ off. Yeah. And sure, it had its perks, but it also had its downfalls. And so in going on this little self-realization moment, I learned boundaries, something I never really utilized in my life. Authenticity. I learned that AJ is a character in a band and doesn't define who I am, because Alex just got stifled for the last 40 years. Right. And so the two entities, which are one, can coexist. And so I immediately set up boundaries with my bandmates first and my family and said, hey, like, when I'm not in work mode with you boys, call me Alex, and it took a little adjusting, but it's been such a revelation to finally be comfortable in my own skin. Right. And that led into the time that it took to finish the album, because if it were up to me, I'd still be writing music right now. Yeah. But I literally had to tell my producer, if I call you, don't answer, because I'll keep writing, and this album will never come out. And I think the cream rose to the top. And literally the last song that I wrote is a song called Relapse. And the album had to be turned in by the third week of November. And I think we cut that first week of November. And so we were cutting it kind of close. And then I always knew that I wanted the EP to come out on the 27th of November, because that's my oldest daughter's birthday. And it just so happened to be Thanksgiving this year as well. And normally new music comes out on a Friday. And everyone knows me knows I've always kind of gone against the grain. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to switch it up. I'm not going to do it on Friday. I'm going to do it on Thursday, Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all the support, and I'm giving you guys the EP. And then I always knew I wanted the album to come out on my birthday. never looked at the calendar until we locked in the date and found out it's on a Friday. So it was just, everything was just perfectly lined up the way that it was meant to be.
Right. Well, let's go back to Alex and AJ, because you said that this album is about removing the armor. And you specifically said that AJ was the performer, Alexander James is the truth. Mm-hmm. So what do you mean by that?
You know, it's discovering that, you know, AJ is a character in a band that Alex plays as part of this unit is authentic to the group, but what's authentic for me is me to be myself. And like the world knows me as AJ from the Backstreet Boys, and that's fine, and I'm very grateful for that, and I'm very fortunate that we've been doing this for now over 3 decades and still going. Yeah. But I wanted the world to really get to know me. I've always been pretty much an open book, whether it's talking about sobriety or my hair surgery or whatever it is. I don't care. If me sharing my story helps even one person, then I've done my job, and I'm being of service. And so I wanted to really let the world in to know me and my imperfections and my faults. I'm perfectly imperfect the way I am, and that's okay. And I can look at myself in the mirror today and I like the person that I see. And when people tell me how great this album is, I can literally say, you know what, you're right, it is great. I deserve it. Yeah. I deserve the love that I get today. Where if you would have talked to me 5 years ago, I would just nod along with you and I would feel so uncomfortable inside. And I would be like, I don't deserve this. Where's all the praise coming from? And I was infamous for when things were going well in my life, I would completely sabotage it. Right. Because then I could fix it and it made me feel like I had a purpose. Right. And it's funny, I was on my men's meeting that I do every single week. Last night I was on virtually, and one of the gentlemen was talking about how, you know, men are problem solvers and this, that, and the other. And when I did my pitch, I was like, you know, I realized that I was the problem. As opposed to fixing the problem or being a problem solver, I was the problem. And it wasn't until I did the work to realize that I'm not the problem, you know. But during that time, oh yeah, I was definitely the problem.
So what does doing the work look like? And is that how you found your truth?
Yeah, I mean, you know, doing a 12-step program, number one, I put it off for decades. I mean, I've been in and out of the rooms of recovery for 25 years. And I just white knuckled it, or my ego got the better of me and told me, you don't need the program, you don't need this, you can do it on your own. And if that was the case, I would have done it. But I relapsed countless times because I couldn't do it on my own. And I had to ask for help. And by doing the steps and by really diving deep into getting my side of the street clean, really opened up this overcoming joy, you know. And it's like I kept seeing it in the rooms and I kept hearing it from other addicts that are sober, like, you know, doing these things and look at my life now. And I would see how happy they were and I'd see how they got their, you know, stuff together, but I just couldn't do it. And it wasn't until my sponsor, who was my best friend, you know, he was driving me to the airport one day to go somewhere, and he was like, dude, you know what? Like, I feel like I've kind of hit a wall with you. I don't know how much more I can help you. So maybe you need somebody else to be your sponsor. And he goes, in the same breath, you know, I feel like I should call Rochelle and apologize because I kind of let her down. I kind of let your family down by not being able to help you. And that was like the biggest slap in the face. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, do it, do the work. And as soon as I got back from that trip, I did the work, and it was exactly what they promised. Everything changed. Yeah. You know?
Working on this album, what did you learn about yourself? I mean, it sounds like this is kind of a rebirth or a
100%.
reintroduction to Alex.
I learned quite a few things. I learned, you know, when I did the first solo album thing that I did, which really didn't go anywhere except like Southeast Asia, because the people I was working with at the time were not really helping push it elsewhere. Everything on that album sounded like a Backstreet Boys song. Like it just did. But that's all I knew was harmonies, harmonies, harmonies. So I learned how to identify with myself on this album to the point where, you know, if we're building a track or we're doing vocals and we're doing the arrangement, I would tell my team, like, okay, let's pipe back on the harmonies, because I don't want this to sound like a Backstreet Boys record. I want it to sound like an Alex record. And I learned that I'm actually pretty good when it comes to the production side of things, because I did a couple of songs with my producer as far as the production side of things.
Had you ever done that with Backstreet ever?
No. Arrangements, you know, but just really, really being hands-on with this. I mean, have I written for the group? Yes, myself and Kevin wrote Show 'Em What You're Made Of, and we've written songs on our Christmas album as a group, and I wrote one song on Black and Blue, but this was like really, because there's no label involved, I am the label. So I'm the label, I'm the A&R, I'm the distribution, like I'm all the things. So really getting my hands dirty and really like diving in was such a cool experience. Like you miss that when you're with a major label and they're kind of running the ship and they put you with the producer and they put you with this, and like doing it on my own was super rewarding, you know?
But how does that feel after being a part of one of the biggest boy bands in history for decades, and then now being on your own, being an independent artist, actually having your own solo project and making these decisions and putting yourself out in the world?
Terrifying. Terrifying at first, because, you know, you are so used to having four shoulders to lean on. But you have to kind of lean into that uncomfortableness, and you have to lean into the fear and know that it's going to be challenging. I am technically a new artist because, again, I'm reintroducing myself as me, and the world knows me as AJ McLean from the Backstreet Boys. So I don't expect that tag to not be attached to me this first go around. But eventually I'd like to, you know, be able to stand on my own 2 feet. And all of that comes with time and patience and work ethic and just knowing that you will get there. I'm the king of manifestation right now. I love to manifest things, and ironically, everything that I keep manifesting keeps happening. So I'm going to say it right here. I'm manifesting a Grammy, or even a Grammy nomination would be fantastic. Best New Artist or Best Pop Duo with me and Ty Dolla $ign. So who knows, you know?
So, I mean, how is this album different from all the others that you've done solo and with Backstreet Boys? What is the Alex sound?
I think it's a very, it's kind of like, there's a story, I feel like, with this album. There's a definite undertone storyline mixed in with just fun dance records and fun pop R&B records. But there's 3 songs in particular that really kind of, full transparency, show the journey that I've been on. Starting with Arizona, which is a very emotional record. I did it on tour with Joey, and it became a fan favorite. And that is really kind of discussing that I am good enough. And then Relapse is kind of that middle ground where I'm sober, but I'm still doing addict things, like people, places, and things, taking my attention away and still not living the life that I live today sober. And then the last song on the album, Better Man, is where I am today. And it's this journey of, you know, self-discovery and knowing that I'm good enough. Got to go through that middle hard part, figure it out, and then to end where I feel like a better man, a better father, a better husband, a better bandmate, a better son, a better person because of it.
Yeah. The album, it starts off with a prologue from your girls. And, you know, I know you broke down. You got very emotional at the New York listening party because you heard it for the first time.
Yeah.
What was it that made you tear up?
You know, it was a combination of a couple things. The second to last show of the residency this past summer, my daughters brought a couple of their friends to come see the show, which right there automatically was really cool that they think dad's cool enough to bring their friends to work. And a lot of kids don't want to bring their friends to work, you know.
And you experienced that.
Yes, so that was that was already kudos for dad. But then,
I mean, they don't just look at you and just think
well,
you got
I
the
mean,
coolest
now
dad.
their friends really like think I'm the coolest dad in the world. And although I hate when their friends call me Mr. McLean, I'm like, no, it's a please call me Alex, or you can call me that guy. But Mr. McLean sounds too official and too old, so please don't. But after the show, they both told me, without mommy instigating it, they said it on their own, how proud they were of me. And that was the first time they've ever said that to me.
Wow.
And so that was the most greatest feeling I've ever experienced in that moment with my girls. And it was genuine and it was raw. So I asked them if they would do the intro to the album and if they would introduce their dad and just say something nice about dad. I didn't tell them what to say. I just say something a little nice about your dad. Maybe if I do something that inspires you, or I've said something that, you know, you kind of use in your everyday life. And then I told my wife, I said, do not send this to me. Send it to my producer. I don't want to listen to it until the day the album comes out. And I want to listen to it live at the event, streaming it live on socials and being in front of all these fans. I want to listen to it live. And I actually kept that promise to myself, which also led up to the emotion, as well as it was in the moment. Like, the album is here. It's finally here. So yeah, I didn't know what they were going to say, because sometimes they'll goof around, but they were really sweet. And now I get to, it's immortalized now. I get to have that with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah. What's it like for you sharing, I mean, you're talking to me about your album and you're sharing the album with the world. What is it like for you to share this personal album with your girls, especially now that they're old enough to kind of see dad as a human?
They're my biggest fans and my biggest supporters, and they're truly my biggest inspiration. During the process of making the album, every morning that I would come pick them up to take them to school, do you have any new songs? Do you have any new songs? And if I did, they'd be like, can you text it to me? And then they would listen to it. Or if I came over earlier, you know, I could hear them in the shower and I could hear them listening to the songs. And so, and I would actually ask their opinions on these songs. Like, what do you think about this one? And some of them, they were like, it's okay. And some they were like, dude, this is a banger. And then the ones that they weren't sure about, once it was finalized, now have become their favorites. It's weird because some of their favorites to me are a little grown up. And I'm like, oh, why do you like that? You know, no, that's not, you shouldn't like that one. But at the same time, they're both so musical. They've been like that since birth. Yeah. My wife and I have opened their ears and their minds to every genre of music, every artist, from the Beatles to Enya and everything in between. So they really get 13 and 8.
13 and 8, wow.
They get music. Yeah. They really do. And they've got the ear for it, and they know what works and what doesn't. And it's the new generation. So why not bounce it off of them? And kids will tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. Yeah. And sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it's mean.
I know it's very soon and recent because the album just came out, but have you discovered new fans?
Actually, yes. We did a second listening party recently in Los Angeles, and we did a meet and greet prior to the actual event. And I'd say about 10 girls that were there in that particular event all walked up to me and said the same thing. And they were not behind each other. They were all spaced out. Yeah. And so
they weren't like together.
They weren't together. Yeah. So it was 10 different stories of how most of them, like their friends dragged them to the Sphere, and they really weren't fans. They became fans watching the show, and then they decided to like do some research and see, you know, stuff about each of us. Found out that I had a solo album, downloaded it, streamed it, and they were like blown away. And they literally told me to my face, "You have a new fan in me." And I'm telling my friends who maybe aren't fans, you got to go listen to this album. And that's exactly, you know, I made this album for me, but I also made it for everyone. And I hope to gain new fans. Thankfully, we have the best fans in the world as far as the Backstreet Army. So you've got that core fan base built in. But I want to expand. I want to gain new followers, to gain new fans, because there really is something for everyone on this album. Whether it's the genre, the lyrics, the melodies. And if I ask 10 people, they're going to give me 10 different answers. It's so far it's been rare that 2 people will say the same song is their favorite. And that's exactly what I set out to do.
Yeah. That's hard to find.
It is. And a lot of the fans are saying this is a no skip album. Yeah. And I was hoping for that. Yeah. You know, because and a lot of that, I tip my hat to my producer Rob Grimaldi, because we went back and forth on the track listing and the order, because some people don't get all the way to the end, and you want to take them on this journey. So we had to make it like this for them to want to stay engaged, and it worked.
Right. What's been the reaction from the guys? How have they responded to
the guys? I mean, you know, during the process, I would play some of the songs for some of the guys, but I also learned my lesson about not giving away too much, because sometimes some of the guys will hear it and go, "That's a smash. Backstreet Boys should cut that." And it's like, we could, but this is for me. Like, I did this for me, and this is my baby that I hold close to my chest. But I think probably the one member I shared the most with was Brian. Him and I mean, I'm close with all the guys, but him and I have a very unique relationship, and we're always talking about music, and we're always talking about golf and sneakers. And so I would play songs for him to kind of just feel it out. And he was just super proud, you know, and I've seen the guys posting comments on some of the recent posts, whether it's from TV performances or whatnot. And Kevin sent me a text just saying how great the music sounds. And, you know, we have always said that we will support one another with any outside entities that we do, because you've got to like let your wings expand. You know, we have our core, which is doing fantastic and is kind of unheard of at this length of your career. To have this resurgence on the level that we are, like, I would say we're bigger now than we were in '99, and it's insane.
As if that's even possible, which is so wild.
Which is why it's so mind-blowing to me that, like, there's a resurgence, and then there's what's happening with us, and we have to pinch ourselves daily, because it's just mind-blowing.
And it's also so rare to still have original members after, what, 3 decades?
32 years and still counting.
Yeah. How fun is it to still be on that stage? You have your residency now, recreating the Millennium Tour. How fun is it to be up there still?
Honestly, I think we're having more fun now than we ever have. I think we've been through so much together that we know this was our first marriage before any of us got married. Like, this was the first thing. And we have a bond unlike any other, unlike most true siblings, unlike most families or business associates. We have such an incredible understanding of each other, and we've had the best type of communication. We listen to each other. Now that we have a lot more control over our fate, we now kind of understand the business side of things better, so we can really map out our career year by year. How much can we take? We want to balance. We don't want to miss, you know, dance recitals and graduations and birthdays and holidays. We want to be there and be present for our children, and watch them grow up. You know, I mean, Kevin's oldest is going to be flying the coop soon, and like, he didn't want to miss those formative years. And so we all talk about that and we make it work. Yeah. You know, and we all keep each other in check still, believe me.
Yeah.
You have to.
I haven't seen the show yet, but Vegas, I know tons of people
You got
who've been
it.
there.
You got to come see it.
Everybody's all white.
Yep. And it's kind of ruining. And look, I would say this, not just about our show. Just you see anything at that venue, it'll ruin regular concerts for the rest of your life, because it's the only venue like it in the world. Yeah. And we're the first pop act to be in that venue, and all the other acts that have been in there are mainly bands. Right. So they're standing there playing their instruments, sounding incredible. The Eagles sounded just like the record. I mean, I grew up listening to the Eagles, and it was the most phenomenal show. But even Don Henley would say, hey, we're just the house band for this movie you're watching right now. And but, you know, we're still doing a Backstreet Boys show.
Yeah.
All the while this thing is happening behind you. So you really need to see the show more than once. If you want to see everything, you have to see it more than once. Yeah. One time, watch us. Next time, watch the content. Otherwise, you will miss something.
No, and that's true. I have friends who've actually been multiple times.
You really, truly have to, you know?
And you've had some famous faces in the audience. I saw an interview where you said that you still get starstruck.
Yeah.
Like Charlize Theron, for example. What was that like? Was that your first time meeting her?
That was my first time meeting her, and I've had a crush on her and been a fan for decades. And she was the sweetest, most incredible person. And we were talking about dance. Mm-hmm. You know, she opened up a dance studio in the Valley, and she's like, your girl's got to come dance over here and, pop in and come see the studio. And she brought some of her friends, and she's like, and you could see her in the suite during the show, just having the time of her life. But I will say, out of all the celebs that have come to the show, and there's been from the Lakers to you name it, Brenda Song, by far the most Uber fan. Her and Macaulay came to the show. She is, even their Christmas card was the Millennium album cover, and they changed the song titles to be based on the holidays and and all of that. It was the coolest thing in the world. But I mean, we've had everybody from Usher, Post Malone, Dan and Shay, Zooey Deschanel. I mean, you name it, and it's just cool because you're getting to watch them as your peer, going back to being a teenager or like a early 20s. Just know they know all the words,
and it never gets old.
No, and it's awesome, and they're all coming in white, and I love that. A couple of the celebs probably either didn't get the memo or just maybe they don't trust themselves in white. They don't want to spill something on themselves. Because I say that during the show. I'm like, hey, if you're coming to the show and you're going to wear all white, don't eat Italian and don't drink red wine before you come to the show. Because I will call you out. I'll make sure I see, I know what you did tonight.
That's good advice. So you mentioned Brenda Song, but who are some other stars who have been starstruck by you?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's been quite a few times that we've done like red carpets for different things, or we go to like the Billboard Awards, or we go to the Grammys, and you meet other artists that are fans of yours, and it's surreal because you think, how could they be a fan of us? You know what I mean? But then it's like they'll tell you, we grew up on your music, whether it's some of the guys from One Direction or Ed Sheeran. It's just crazy to like. I still tell my wife to this day, because she gets on me constantly, like if I'm doing any kind of red carpet event, if I see a celeb that I admire or that I look up to, whether they're in the music business or film and TV, I won't go up and talk to them. I give them their space. And she always says, do you not know who you are? And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I need to get that confirmation smile that's inviting, because last thing I want to do is invade their personal space. Or B, what if I catch them at the wrong moment and they aren't the nicest? Now it's ruined it for me. And now I have this is the only perception I have of that person. So I'm very respectful of people's space.
Right. Taylor Swift You poked the bear.
Yeah,
So
I did.
where are we? You said that you wanted to do a collaboration. Backstreet Boys, Taylor Swift, maybe you and Taylor Swift. Where do you stand with that?
I mean, I would love to do something with Taylor. I think Backstreet doing something with Taylor would be, I mean, if any of us did something with Taylor, it would break the planet.
Yeah.
And she's a sweetheart. I mean, we've known each other for years, and she's always been so amazing to my, daughters. And the fact that she remembered my oldest daughter the second time she met her, like that was like, okay, you just got major kudos. That you, out of all the millions of people you meet, you remembered my daughter's name. Like, God bless your heart. But it wasn't until recently this young lady, LYD, did this massive remix,
Right.
which was the first time I had ever heard a Max Martin and a Max Martin song together. And now
Separate
I
Max
can't.
Martin
Now
songs.
I can't hear Elizabeth Taylor without hearing dun, 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 in the background. So it was so weird because the night before, I posted the video and I was talking to my wife, and we were talking about how Taylor doesn't follow anybody, and it's very rare that she'll comment on someone's page unless she's like BFFs with you, and even then she probably doesn't as much. And I woke up the next morning to her commenting on my page, and I was like, wait, is somebody trolling me right now? Like, I had to click on it to make sure that it went to the blue check mark with the gazillion trillions of followers she has, and I'm like, oh my God. So I call my wife, I'm like, go to my Instagram right now, look at this. And then I said, don't tell the girls, I just want to surprise them after school. And then I've put it out in the atmosphere, again, manifesting, that whenever she wants to come see the show, you are my guest, I'm inviting you to the show. But if you really want to go the extra mile, Backstreet's Back is the finale. Just come on up and sing the first verse of Elizabeth Taylor, and let's just see what happens.
I got to tell you, it's really cool to see how excited you are about Taylor Swift, because I imagine she's probably pinching herself.
I mean,
with your offer.
I mean, it was just really cool because she's even said that she's a massive fan, but she's a fan of all music, and she's a true artist and a true musician, so she gets it. And she's worked with Max quite a few times now, and Max, in my opinion, will go down in history as one of the greatest songwriter producers of all time. So it's just really cool to see how she reacted, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens if she just, because we always find out who the celeb guests are.
Yeah, ahead of
that. No, like the day that we arrive to the venue, I'll see the day sheet, and it's like, okay, at 8:15 before we go to prayer, we're gonna get pictures with this one, this one, this one, this one, and I'm like, wait, Post Malone's here? What the hell? Like, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I need to read my emails the day before. I'm really bad about that. So, but I play this game now. It's kind of more fun to like find out an hour before I'm gonna meet them who it's gonna be.
Great. So, what's next? You have the residency. It's coming back in a few.
We got
more
the
weeks.
residency coming back in February, and then we are gearing up for in essence, another residency in Dusseldorf in Germany. 10 sold out stadium shows. We would like to kind of start doing these little like mini stadium residencies or multiple nights in arenas, and kind of an expansion of what's happening in Vegas, and obviously changing the show up to keep Vegas its own thing, but probably still keeping in the mindset of Millennium. And it's easier on us than learning a whole new show. But we're probably going to add a few songs, change some content, visuals are going to change, and it will be its own entity. But it's going to be really awesome, like to be able to kind of post up in one place. That's also something great about doing, Vegas, is that you get to actually unpack your suitcase and you can do laundry, and you don't have to like pack up, pack out, and hop on the bus. Although I do miss being on a tour bus. Yeah. So another thing, hopefully this year, is a solo tour. Yeah. And I definitely want to get back on a tour bus for that, as opposed to the Weekend Warrior fly in and fly out thing. And I look forward to going on tour with my all-girl band, which I'm so stoked. They're so talented.
What made you decide on an all-girl band?
I've always wanted to do that since I started doing anything solo, and my dream is always to have an all-girl band, especially having daughters. I wanted to show them that girls are awesome. Girls can do anything that men can do, and some things even way better. And that it just shows my girls that they can be anything they want. If they want to be a bass player, a drummer, they can rock out with the best of them. And my musical director, Adam Blackstone, put together an incredible bunch of ladies that are just the sweetest. And they're excited, we're excited, and we have this little thing that we do before these performances where we all come together, we say a quick prayer, we acknowledge the love and joy of music and wanting to spread that love and joy. And then we put our hands together and we say manifest greatness, and we're going to keep on manifesting greatness.
And on that note, well, I have one more question for you. At this stage in your life, what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of being able to look at myself in the mirror and know that I deserve all the good things in life. I am a good person, even with my faults. And it's okay to fail because you learn from those things. That used to be my biggest fear in life, is failure. And I couldn't fail at anything. And now I get it. Like, that's part of life. It's okay. You're not going to do it perfect the first time. My youngest daughter, she's going through that right now, that phase where if she doesn't get something immediately, oh dear God, she's so emotional about it, but she's starting to understand, and she's starting to hear it from me and see it from Daddy, that it's okay to not get it right the first time. And I'm still a work in progress, and I'm going to continue to grow. And I know I'm jumping way ahead, but like, who knows what the second album's going to be like? Who knows? It's going to be another growth. So this is just the beginning.
All right, Alex, here's to manifesting greatness and a Grammy in 2026.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's so good to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alexander James. My name is Alexander James. It's available now. Backstreet is back in Vegas, the Millennium Tour. Thank you so much. Good to see you, man.
Thanks, brother.